Namaste, namaste, and welcome to Monday Midday Chair Yoga. And this week we're doing some fancy things with our equipment. So we've got a stretchy band. Now, if you don't have a stretchy band, you might be able to do, so all of the movements that we do with a stretchy band, you can do without anything at all. So you do the same movements, but you have a sense of feeling resistance as you move, and it helps to activate your muscles. Stretchy bands are inexpensive and they're probably quite worth the investment. You can get them at lots of places. And today I have got a medium weight one, but you certainly want to start with a lightweight one if you're not used to doing the movements. And then can work your way up through medium, perhaps to heavier still. And stretchy bands offer us an opportunity to increase the resistance that our natural body weight gives us, but without adding weight. So we don't have to hold a weight at the end of a lever. We can use the stretchy band to encourage the muscles to perform a little more strongly. And we're also going to use a squashy ball. And if you don't have a squashy ball, you can substitute with a cushion or a yoga block in most cases. So let us pop these bits of equipment to one side. And we're going to start simply sitting and centering. So sitting towards the front of your seat, rest your hands wherever they're comfortable. Feel a sense of gentle length through the back of the body. Closing the eyes or gazing gently downward. And take this moment to step away from everything else that's gone on around you in your space today and mentally step into the place and time for yoga. As you do that, perhaps you feel a gentle lightening of the load that normally sits on your shoulders and a subtle easing of any tension you might be feeling. Notice how your body feels in this moment. The areas of stiffness, soreness, or other discomforts. Working compassionately with those places in the body as we go through our practice today. And notice at least one part of the body that feels peaceful, quiet, spacious, and at ease. Allow that sense of ease to ripple out from wherever it's centered, moving a greater sense of ease into the body, perhaps again feeling that softening of tensions you might be holding. And then draw your awareness to your breath. Be aware of your natural breath. And then gently deepen your breath. So we don't have to force the breath. We want to be soft with the breath. Allow the face to remain relaxed, the shoulders relaxed. Just a slightly longer, deeper breath in and out. As you breathe out, gently engaging across the navel so that you draw the muscles inwards and upwards, pressing more air out of the lungs. And then soft in the belly, breathe deeply into the sides of the body, the back and the chest. Long, slow breath out, engaging across the navel to exhale fully. Soft in the belly to breathe deeply into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And a long, slow breath out, engaging the belly muscles to exhale fully. Keep breathing in this way, filling the torso with each breath in. Maybe the breath lifts you tall. And with each breath out, just trying to encourage as much air out of the lungs so you can get that fuller exchange of air in the tissues of the lungs. Breathing deeply. Charging the body with prana, energy, vitality. On your last exhalation, simply exhale through the mouth in a gentle sigh. And then let your breath find its natural rhythm. We're going to bring our chin gently to our chest, feeling that sense of length in the back of the neck, and then raise the head to center. And you can take the bottom teeth over the top teeth and lift the chin gently forwards and upward. And then back to center, relax the teeth and chin to chest. Raising the head, bottom teeth over top teeth, chin lifted forward and up. Back to center, relax the jaw one more time, all the way down. And back to center, bottom teeth over top teeth, all the way up. Back to center and relax your jaw. Here, if your eyes are closed, you can keep them closed. If you want to open them, you can open them. It doesn't matter which you choose. We're going to gently turn the head to look over the right shoulder, turn back to the center, turn the head to look over the left shoulder, and turn back to center. Going from side to side, just nice and steady in your pace. There's no hurry. You can do one more to each side. And then as you return to center, just making sure you're sitting really tall, the neck is extending, right ear to right shoulder, back to the center, and left ear to left shoulder, and back to the center. So we go a little bit from side to side and these side bends as well. Just trying to find movements that feel good, that help us to feel perhaps parts of the body that we don't normally use, but without pressing or forcing. When you come back to the center this time, just leaving the head in the center, making some nice rolls with the shoulders, and we'll go in the opposite direction as well. And then we're going to take the fingertips to the shoulders. We're going to draw the elbows towards each other in front, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, and then take the elbows wide, opening the chest, drawing the elbows maybe behind the body. And then rounding through the spine, elbows towards each other in front of the body, scoop the belly in, chin to chest, and then opening the front of the body, elbows moving behind, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. Rounding through the spine, opening the chest, rounding through the spine, opening the chest. And then coming back to a more neutral spot, and we'll do a gentle twist to the right, twist to the left. Press into your feet at the same time as you do these twists, and it helps you to get some purchase, to activate the legs and the lower body so that you can aid the twist as you go from side to side. One more to each side. You don't go far, that's okay. Back to the center, and then we'll make some circles with our elbows. And we start with just small circles, but drawing those elbows closer towards each other and further behind the body as we make the fullest possible circles. It's okay to move your neck as your upper back moves, like the neck is part of the spine, which of course it is, but just making sure that you move naturally. There's an element of spinal undulation here as well. Let's go the opposite way, starting small, working to slightly bigger circles, working the elbows behind the body and towards each other in front of the body, allowing the head to move as the spine moves. Just feeling that natural waving motion through the spine, but also the movement of the structures across the upper back and chest. One more in this direction. And then allow the arms to rest down by your sides for a moment. Just shrug the shoulders a few times. Allow them to soften and release any effort. And then we're going to swing the arms backwards and forwards. And we want this swinging to be quite relaxed. Just make sure you're not going to clobber anything with your hands. And then we can make a little bit more twisting. So a little bit more graceful swinging, purposeful. Again, pressing into the feet, activating the belly muscles, just finding that lovely sense of twist. And then slowly coming back to center. And as we come back to center, we're going to do a gentle bend of the body to one side and then the other. So sitting very upright for this. If you want to widen your feet, if it gives you a better base, a better support, then feel free. Just one side and then the other, exploring our natural range of movement in this moment. Aces. One more time to each side. And then we're going to come back to the center and rest the arms for a moment, sitting tall, just feeling the effect of moving the spine in all those different ways. Very good. Okay, so let us take our squashy ball or cushion and just pop it between the knees. And we'll take our stretchy bands as well. Oh, excuse me. And we're going to work with these to begin with. So the squashy ball or cushion, we're just going to encourage the knees towards each other enough to hold it there lightly. So we don't need to force the knees shut and squish the ball as much as we can, but we do want to feel that the legs are active in this motion. I'm going to start with our stretchy band, just a nice comfortable distance apart. And we're raising the band up to about chest height and lowering the band down again. And we want to keep the band taut as we raise up to chest height and lower down. And you can feel the activation across your shoulders and upper arms, perhaps, as you lift and lower. We're going to begin to work into a higher lift. So raising the band perhaps a little bit higher each time, not pushing through any resistance in the body, but just feeling your way here. If you get to a point where it feels like the shoulders can't lift anymore, you can gently pull the band apart to see if you can get a little bit higher up, and then keep the band taut, but not perhaps as pulled apart as you lower down. So reaching up now as high as you can and lowering down. Let's do two more like this. Reaching up, lowering down, and then this time we're going to leave the arms raised, reaching up and holding here. And here, glide the shoulders up towards the ears and glide the shoulders down, away from the ears. Let's go up and down, up and down, and then we're going to lower the arms down. Take a little rest here. So resting the hands from the belt itself, the band, maybe doing some nice big wrist circles with the fingers being nice and long, going in the opposite direction as well. And then we're going to swing the arms by the sides of the body. Again, if you want to be more purposeful, you can keep that ball in place by gently pressing the knees towards each other, lengthening one arm and then the other as you twist from one side to the other. And then coming back to center, just give your shoulders a little shrug. Brilliant. So we're going to do a very similar practice, but we're going to have the hands a little bit closer towards each other on the belt if possible. And then pressing into the feet to stand tall, to sit tall, sorry. We're going to move the belt from side to side. The stretchy band, we're slightly pulling the band apart, only slightly, to activate the arms. So we go from side to side, pressing into the feet, gently squeezing the ball. Very good. Once we've done side to side, you can try going up a little with the arms, maybe a gentle side to side, more of a side bending here, or it could be more in front of the body like an arcing motion. Nice and firm in the center, firm in the feet and the legs. And then from here, we're going to draw the left hand down to the left side. The right arm can follow, and then lift the left arm into the center, draw the right arm down. So a little kayaking motion, as if we were paddling in a kayak, going from side to side. Just enough pull on the stretchy band to keep it taut, active in the arm muscles. Lovely job. Allow your head to follow the movement if it doesn't make you feel dizzy. Super stuff. Let's do one more to each side. And then from the center, we're going to reach all the way up and see how far back your arms can go. Pull the band apart in that position and gently release the hands towards each other. So gently pulling apart as the arms go behind the body, perhaps a little bit. Might be just overhead, that's fine. Pulling apart, back together. Let's do two more. Back together. Pulling apart, and as the band releases back to its usual form, gently releasing it down in front of the body. And this time we'll release the hands by placing the thumbs into the palms, other fingers around, making those wrist circles. Your arms don't have to be lifted. Your wrists can circle by your legs, go in the opposite direction as well. Very good. Aces. And again, just doing a little swinging. This can be nice and loose. You can swing the torso as well, or you can just shrug the shoulders or do a little dancing shoulder if you prefer. Aces. Okie dokie. So we're going to take these bands and we're going to wrap them around our bodies at about chest height. And they behave much better if you can get them flat on your body than if they roll up. But in front of the body here at the front, we're going to wrap the bands around our hands so that we are holding our arms at this sort of like a robot in front of the body. Fingers can be extended or contracted as you choose, into fists if you like. I'm just going to sit this way so it's easier for you to see. So we want to start by sitting nice and tall, elbows close to the body, and we're going to reach one hand forward and then the other. So we're punching forward and backwards, forwards and backwards. A little purchase on that ball between the knees and pressing the feet into the floor. And we're going to do 5 more to each side. So lengthen forwards and back, forwards and back. And if you want it to feel more challenging, you make the band shorter or you use a heavier band. Now I've lost count because I was talking, so 1 more to each side. Lovely job. And then just relax the arms for a moment. Give your shoulders a wiggle. And then we'll come back to that position and we're going to go across the body. So here we're punching across the body and down, across the body. It doesn't need to be high, but across the body. And as you punch across the body, turn the palm to face down and then the palms back to facing the other hand. Palm faces down, and there's a little roll through the shoulder and the arm to be able to achieve that movement of the palm to face down and then back to center. Let's do 1 more to each side. And then relax the hands completely from the belt. The belt can just stay where it is. Roll through the shoulders. Give yourself a nice little wriggle. Aces. So I think we'll just do 1 more of these. I could get really carried away, but I think 1 more of these would be fine. So we're going to raise the band over the head. And this time we want the hands to be relatively close together. So we don't want to be super far apart, but just enough bandwidth so you can comfortably hold the arms over the head. And then we're going to keep the right hand where it is and pull the left hand down as far as it will go, with the band allowing it to go. So the arm is long and straight. We pull the left arm down, out to the side and down, and then back to center. Let me turn slightly so it's easier to see. Pulling out to the side and down, and then back to center. Let's do 2 more. Pulling out and down, and back to center. Last one, out and down, and back to center. Very good. In between, let's relax the arms down. Just take a little roll of the shoulders. Hopefully that feels quite good. And it's your stabilizing arm, your right arm, that's done lots and lots of work there as well. So let's take the arms back up to do the other side. Left hand stays where it is. Right hand pulls out and down and then back to center. Doesn't matter if you don't go all the way down, as long as you're pulling away from your left arm and your left arm is resisting that movement. Let's do 2 more here. Very good. Last one. Aces, well done. Relaxing the belt down now. We can just fold it over our laps, give our shoulders a little bit of a wiggle, give the arms a little bit of a shake, and then rolling through the wrists. And it's quite good to do this with extended fingers a few times in each direction. And then we're going to thumbs into palms and do that same wrist rolling a few times in each direction with our soft fists. Excellent. Okay, we're going to pop our bands out of the way for now. And now we're going to take our awareness down to our feet. So we're going to move the balls as well and just take a moment to wiggle the toes. And then we're going to rock onto the ball of one foot as we rock onto the heel of the opposite foot. So we're lifting one heel and the opposite toe off the floor, just going forwards and backwards. If you find that hard to coordinate, don't worry about it. Just do both toes up, both heels up, so that you're not doing opposing sides, but both feet are doing the same thing. And sometimes if we've got quite a big difference between one side of the body and the other, if we've got a side that is perhaps less coordinated or a little bit weaker or a little bit stronger, then using both together can help the side that is dominant help the weaker side along. So that is all good. It's not better or worse to do it alternately, it's just different. Aces. Once we've gone forwards and backwards like this a few times, we're going to leave the feet on the floor. And then here, just sitting tall, take a cleansing breath. Breathing in, take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out, the palms together at the center of the chest. Awesome. So I want to sit a little bit further back in my seat so that my thighs are supported now by the chair seat itself, and turn sideways so it's easier to see. I can just hold my ball instead of having it behind me. And then I'm going to reach the legs out in front and just roll the feet at the ankles. So making ankle circles, one direction and then the other, maybe swapping directions a couple of times. Very good. And then just lengthening one leg and then the other. If you can, extend through your heels. So you're pulling the toes back towards your body. You'll feel the thigh muscles activate at the front of the thighs as the leg extends. The back of the thighs activates as the leg bends. Once we've done it with flexed feet a few times, we're going to try it with pointed toes. They don't need to be super pointed, but have that sense of opening up the front of the ankle as you lengthen the leg forward. Very good. And then letting the feet come down to the floor, just swinging the feet from side to side. And then making some circles. So the feet stay away from the floor. If you're really tall, you can sit up on a cushion to give you a little bit of space from the floor and circle in the opposite direction as well, just stirring the feet. Oh, well, the legs at the knees, really. Very good. Then we're going to slide forward in our seats and put the heels on the floor and then make ankle circles. But as we do that, pivoting on the heels, the knees come together and apart. So we get this lovely motion through the legs that actually rolls right up into the hip joints. Let's go in the opposite direction as well. And we want to be enough seated on the seat so that we're not in any danger of slipping off or falling off. Do stop and readjust if you need to at any stage. Aces. So now we're going to take the ball between the knees again, and we're going to gently sway the knees from side to side, just keeping the ball in place. So here we're rolling from the inside edge and outside edge of the feet to the opposite inside edge and outside edge. So we're rolling across the soles of the feet, just moving the ball from side to side. Aces. And then in the center, we're going to try a little bit backwards and forwards. So we might need to sit back on the seat a little bit more, rolling the hips forwards and backwards. So the knees come forwards and backwards. It's just a little twist through the pelvis here. We have to use some of our deeper postural muscles to help us with that. Rolling backwards and forwards. Very nice. And now we're going to get a little bit more fancy still. So we're going to take this ball between the ankles or the low legs. I don't know which is going to be best. We'll have to try it. And then sit back in our seat, and we're going to roll the ball between the low legs as we take one foot across the other and change from side to side. Now, if you need to, you can hold onto your chair back or your chair seat, really activate your belly muscles. You can do this with the feet lower down. You're still getting some benefit there, but the higher up it is, the harder it is. So just practicing where it feels good. And my ball's about to drop, so it's the perfect time to finish with the feet back on the floor, just sliding yourself forward and taking note of how you feel as a result of that practice. Awesome sauce. So we'll come back to using our balls later, but right now we're going to do our sit to stand. So feet, enough purchase of your buttocks on the seat behind you, but feet directly underneath the knees. And we're going to practice floating forward and then just releasing back. That float of the hips up and down, really activating the legs, floating forward, releasing down. Let's do two more. Floating and releasing, really graceful, really light, lovely. So now we can practice coming forward and then coming up to standing and then coming down. So we come forward and then we press through the legs to stand all the way tall. And as we do that, we're going to let the hips come forward a little bit. And then as we go back, we're lengthening the hands forward as we lengthen the tailbone back, bending the knees to kiss the buttocks down to the chair. We're going to do two like that, and then we're going to change the shape of the feet. So reaching forward to float, and then stand tall, opening the front of the body, reaching the hands forward to bend the knees slowly to gently kiss the buttocks down to the seat. Perfect. One more. Float forward, and then press through the legs to stand tall. Lifting in the belly muscles as we extend the tailbone backwards to lightly sit down. So we have done that with the feet parallel and about the width apart that works for you. It could be hip width apart or wider. And now we're going to step one foot slightly forward and the other foot slightly back. So the feet are now slightly off center from the knees, and we have to use them in a slightly different way, which works our hips differently. So we're going to start with that gentle lift. So firming the belly muscles, take the weight forward onto the feet, just gently lift and kiss the buttocks back down. Let's do two more, like that. One more, and down. And it's okay if you feel like one leg is working more than the other. That's the plan. So from here, we're going to come all the way up to standing, same as we did with our feet parallel. If you feel that this practice isn't working for you, Then stick with using parallel feet until you feel stronger, and then you can start staggering the feet. For those who are in class today, I know it works fine. So nice and firm in the belly, reaching the hands forward to float, and then pressing into the legs to stand all the way tall, opening the front of the body, maybe just allowing the hips to gently nudge forward, and then reaching the tailbone back as you bend the knees and sit down. 2 more. Coming forward to float, and then pressing into the legs to stand all the way tall, reaching the hands forward as the tailbone goes back and the knees bend, to sit lightly down. Last one like this. Floating, standing, bending, and sitting. Very good. Just note where your feet are, and we're going to swap them. So we're going to move the back foot forward to where the front foot is, and move the front foot back to where the back foot was. Swap feet. That's it. Excuse me. Preparing to do 3 floatings here. So we're firm in the legs and the belly. We reach forward to just float the buttocks up and down. Notice if it feels differently on this side as you do just 1 more of these. It's okay if it feels differently, absolutely fine. Now we're going to do 3 coming all the way up to standing, floating, standing tall, hips a little bit forward, and then hands reaching forward as hips reach back, sitting down. 2 more. Float, stand, and then reaching forward, hips back, and release. Last one. Float, stand, hips reaching backwards, hands reaching forwards, and release. And here, just relax your legs, again, placing the heels of the feet on the floor, making those ankle circles that move the knees in and out. Just wriggle the thigh bones and the hip sockets. And we can go the opposite way as well. So we can make these even more challenging still by staggering the feet even more. But that is a job for a different day. But if you are working with strength and stability at home, you can try these with the foot that's closest to the chair, the heel comes off the floor, and the foot that's further away, it's maybe just a little bit further away. So when you push up, you're actually on the ball of 1 foot. And you might have been in the version we did, depending on ankle mobility. If you want to practice those ones that are getting more challenging, I recommend doing it close to something that you can hang on to for a few repetitions, just so that you feel that you're super stable. Because, of course, the reason why we're doing it all is so that we can avoid falling. So we definitely don't want to do that in our yoga practice. So coming back to having the feet directly underneath the knees, parallel to each other, we're going to come all the way up to standing and stay standing. So reaching forward, floating, pressing the hips forward as you unfurl, standing lovely and tall, reaching the arms down to the side, just giving your shoulders a little wriggle, perhaps the hips a little wriggle as well. Super stuff. Now I'm going to move my chair a little bit because it is just in the wrong sort of place. And we are going to do Kati Chakrasana. It's a lovely practice to do if you find yourself sitting some of the time. Not all of the time, but if you've been sitting for a while in a car, or perhaps just been engrossed in a good book or a TV program. We can start with the feet nice and wide apart, a little soft in the knees, and just begin with turning gently to one side and then the other. The shoulders are nice and relaxed, the arms are soft, with the elbows particularly soft, so that the arms can wrap around the body and we can tap wherever our hands fall. So if you don't feel dizzy, your head can follow the movement. And if you are prone to dizziness, you just keep your head in one place and let the shoulders and the rest of the spine do the work. We want to feel like we're moving around a central axis, a central line down through the crown of the head to the space between the feet on the floor. So we want to avoid swaying sideways or getting too bendy in the body. We actually want to be quite strong and stable in the center and let the arms and shoulders and fingers be the thing that is floppy. For those who would like to, you can pivot on your toes, just so we get a little bit of movement through the hips. Now we do move a little bit from side to side as we twist, but we still want to have that sense of length through that midline of the body. And then if you wish to, you can add a little gentle bend of the knees. So you bounce and then twist, maybe touching the opposite shoulder in front of you and the opposite hip or rib cage behind you. And we've done quite a lot of work with the thighs already, so you might feel that they are already quite warmed up. But it's nice to be able to feel the effect of our work in sensations in the body, as long as they're pleasant sensations. When you're ready, you can lose the bounce, simply pivot for a moment, and then bring the feet to steadiness and sway slowly back to center. As you come to center, stand tall, feel that almost like a buoyancy in the head that lifts you long without being rigid, just light. Take a deep breath in and out, and then we'll do a cleansing breath all together. Breathing in, take the arms around the body and up. Breathing out, draw the palms together to the center of the chest. And one more, breathing in and breathing out. Aces, awesome sauce, guys. So we're going to stick with a little bit of effort into the legs and just make some hip circles. So here we're going to allow the body to move as we move. So allow the torso to almost counterbalance the movement of the hips. And here we're focused on actually moving the hips themselves around where the feet are placed on the floor. That's the idea. If you need a slightly wider stance for stability, that's fine. If you feel like you want to practice with a more narrow stance, or even just alter, do a bit of one and a bit of the other, then that's great. Variety is the spice of our yoga life. We're going to go in the opposite direction as well. And whatever foot positions you may have explored, we are going to explore them here too. So I'm just going to widen my feet again. Just the opposite direction, allowing that counterposing of the torso. And then when you're ready, coming to stand upright, just giving the shoulders a roll. Let's take our awareness up to the shoulders now, or the arms as well, reaching the arms nice and wide. We're going to turn the left palm upwards, and we're going to turn the right palm under as far as it will go. So we've got the arms rotated in opposite directions, and we're going to let the shoulders move as we rotate the palms up and down, keeping the arms extended and long. And if you like, you can also turn your head. You can look towards the upturned or downturned palm if you prefer. The upturned palm probably feels more natural. Little softness across the knees to keep the lower body quite active. We'll do one more to each side, and then float the arms down to the side. Give the shoulders and hips a little wriggle. Dancing shoulders, dancing hips. Very nice. We're going to come back to focus on our hips, and this time with bent knees, keeping the torso still as we rotate the hips. So it requires a little bit more focus and awareness and stability in our center. So we want to firm the belly muscles, the buttocks. You can feel them firming, particularly as they press forward, keeping the upper body nice and relaxed. If you want to be sure, you can hold your hands out to the side. In your peripheral vision, you'll notice if they're moving. If they're moving, it probably means that you're moving. And then we're going to go the opposite way as well. And as you do this, when you're quite practiced, you might become aware of how the hips feel, or how it feels on the soles of the feet, or just what's active to make it happen. All good practice. We're going to do one more in this direction, and then Lengthen the legs, float the arms down to the side, just give yourself a little dancing shoulder, dancing hip. We do love a dancing shoulder, dancing hip. And then we're going to take the arms wide again, do the same practice, but this time turning the left palm up and the right palm all the way under. We're going to keep the shoulders still and the torso still, perhaps a little soft across the knees, firm in the belly, lifted in the crown of the head. We're just rolling the arms under and forward. One way and then the other. Opposite ways, so that they are working in counter pose, if that makes sense. Super. And try to do it as much with the arms as possible. You can feel the effect across the upper back, the shoulders, the upper arms, and then floating the arms down to the side. They'll feel like they've done lots of work, wriggling through the shoulders, wriggling through the hips, and perhaps giving your legs a shake out one at a time, perhaps giving the arms a shake out one at a time as well. So I'd like to do one more thing with our legs and balls. We'll see how we go. So I'm sure everybody here in class will manage this no problem at all. If you're unfamiliar with the practice, just watching and deciding if it might be for you or not. This can be done with or without the ball, but it's probably harder with a cushion, which might be heavier. These balls are super light, so that's what we're looking for, something super light. We're going to stand on our right foot and place that ball behind the left knee. So we're holding it in place by drawing the heel towards the buttock. Now, if that doesn't work for any reason, just do this without the ball, bending your knee. It is enough, okay? The ball just adds an extra element of engagement. So using both hands on our chair, we're going to make circles with the left knee. So we're standing on the right knee, and what we're trying to do is avoid making lots of different movements with our torso. So we're standing tall, pressing into the right leg, making these circles with the left knee, and we're going to go the opposite way as well. Your circles do not need to be big. They can be really small, really subtle, just doing something that feels good to your body. Very good. We'll do one more in this direction, and then we're going to take the ball out, and we're going to step that left foot as far back as feels comfortable. Might need to get a bit closer to our chair so that we've got the right knee bent and the left leg extended in a warrior one stance. So the left toes may be pointing a little bit out to the left. Here, you can play with the tilt of your pelvis. Maybe you want it tilted slightly under. Maybe that doesn't feel stable. You want to press both feet into the floor, really focusing on the big toes and the heels, as well as the outside edges, the whole foot. Focus on the whole foot. There we are. So with our left arm, we're just going to draw nice big circles around the body. And we're going to do 3 of these. And when we've done 3, keeping the belly muscles nicely engaged, there might be a point that you want to stop at. So we'll complete our 3rd circle. And then there might be a point that feels really good, perhaps with the arm extended so that you feel the stretch down the whole of the left side of the body. It might be with the arm behind you, it might be reaching in front, but just pause for a moment with your arm in any position that feels good, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then release that arm down to your side. We're going to step forward with the left foot, so nice and buoyant across both feet. Maybe play with the weight in the feet, and then step forward, and then take a downward facing dog. So here in downward facing dog, the feet are nice and wide. We're pressing into the top of the chair with the palms of the hands. Maybe we want to sway the hips gently from side to side, or maybe you prefer to lengthen one leg and then the other to get the sort of rotation through the upper body, or the low body even. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, walking your feet in so you're nice and upright at your chair back. We're going to do that whole sequence to the other side. I'm going to shift my chair so it's easier for you guys to see. So I'm working with the leg closest to the screen. So we start by standing on our left foot now and just popping that ball behind the right knee, drawing the heel towards the buttock to keep it in place. We don't need to force or work hard. And if it doesn't work, if you've got reduced knee mobility, or if you don't have a nice light ball, then just doing this without the ball. We're going to make some, I'm going to hop slightly away from my chair. We're going to make some nice circles with our right knees. And it might be that those circles are really small. And certainly if you have had hip replacements, you might need to be aware of what range of motion is healthy for your hips. But you also might like to explore a bit more. So be guided by your body's response. We'll go in the opposite direction as well. We're using the belly muscles to stay nice and stable on our left side. And we'll do 2 more in this direction. They're harder than they look once you've put the ball in place. And then we're going to release the ball from underneath the back of the leg and step that foot back. I'm going to also step forward with my left foot so that I've got my left knee quite close to the chair. But we want to find a sense of length now with the hip flexor part of the front of the right side of the pelvis. So warrior 1 pose, firm in the belly muscles, pressing the feet down, maybe playing with the tilt of the pelvis till you find something that works for you. I like to be less tucked under on this side than I do on the other side. We're all different and our sides behave differently too. And then we're going to reach around the body with the right hand. So we're making these nice big circles. And we're going to do 1 more of these moving circles and then try and find a place that feels good for us to stop, just to take a breath. It could be with a hand forward or back or maybe down, but wherever it feels good, we're just stopping to reach into that hand, reaching the feet into the floor, firm in the belly, deep breath in, deep breath out. And then allow that arm to come down. Get some buoyancy on your feet, maybe lifting your back heel and lightly step the right foot forward and then walk your feet back so that you can do a chair-based down dog with the feet quite wide apart, about the width of your chair or wider if you prefer, swaying the hips from side to side over soft knees or lengthening one leg and then the other. Getting maybe a turn through the spine to turn the head from side to side as well. And then when you're ready, you might like a little moment of stillness in your down dog. Think about scooping your belly in, lengthening the tailbone backwards, pressing the hands down, and keeping the back of the neck extended as well. In your own time, softening your knees, walking forward, stand next to your chair. And just take a moment here as you come upright. Perhaps you need a breath or 2. When you're ready, you can stand away from your chair, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Very good. Okay, guys, we're going to work our way towards relaxation. So I'm just altering my chair. We don't need our stretchy bands anymore, but it might be useful to just hang on to your ball because we are going to do a little length for the neck and shoulders. So whilst we do that, I'm just going to let my blanket be across my legs. So I'm going to start by sitting for a moment, just allowing the weight to drop into the feet, into the base of the body and the spine and the buttocks, base of the spine and the buttocks. Just so that we can feel centered, grounded, feel that new relationship with gravity that we have. And then we're going to take our balls and press them gently towards the right side of either the body or the chair, doesn't matter which, and sit tall. And then keeping that ball in place by just exerting enough effort to do it, lengthening the back of the neck, we can take the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then if it feels good here, you can stay. And if you want to, you can lift and lower your chin. So as if you were slowly nodding yes, with the right ear towards the right shoulder. And then the next time your chin comes down, just allow it to roll all the way to center and then head up in the center. We'll relax that left arm, give the shoulders a little wiggle. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're pressing the ball towards us gently, sitting tall, and then left ear to left shoulder. So the ball is on the right side, left ear to left shoulder, the head goes the opposite way. The activation of the arm increases the sensation that we get down the side of the neck, which is why we're doing it. And then we lift and lower. So nodding the head is completely optional. It may be that some people prefer just to hold the static stretch. That is fine. And then the next time your chin comes down, allow it to roll all the way to center. So you're looking straight down, and then relax your arm and bring your ball back to center. Wriggle any bits that need wriggling. Very good. We're going to take that ball behind us, and we're just going to squeeze our hands towards the ball and roll the shoulder blades towards each other. Maybe lengthen the arms away from you as well. So if the ball is not big enough for you to hold on to and get your arms in this position, then you could get your belt or your band, or you could just reach both arms back without holding on to something. That is fine too. You can hold on to the back of your chair if you like. So taking a couple of deeper breaths, maybe lifting the chin ever so slightly, having a sense of drawing the elbows and the palms of the hands towards each other, and then very gently releasing. We can pop our balls out of the way to one side, make sure they're nowhere where they might cause a risk of falling, and then gently wriggle the shoulders. We're going to wrap ourselves up in our blankets, or at least I am. I'm going to wrap myself up in my blanket. Oh, love this bit of us. And I'm assured that you guys do too. Aces. So sitting back into your seat now, allowing the chair seat and the chair back to really support the body. We're going to leave the hands wherever they're comfortable, resting so the shoulders feel relaxed. And then gently close your eyes. We're almost ready to bring the body to stillness, but let's have a few deep breaths first. Take a deep breath in. Sigh out through your mouth. Let's do 3 more like that. A deep breath in. Feel all of the effort of practice release. A deep breath in. Feel your muscles begin to relax. 1 more deep breath in. Surrender into your chair and the floor. Allow your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and fall away into quietness. Take your awareness to your forehead. Feel it soften. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing. Your mouth, tongue, jaw, releasing. Allow the whole of your body to feel heavy, warm, supported, softening back, softening down. Be aware of the parts of your body that have been strong today. Mentally, let them know that they can now release their strength. That you are holding them, the chair is holding them, the earth is holding them. they can switch off that activation and soften into relaxation. Move your awareness to your breath. Become aware of your natural, spontaneous breath. Feel the coolness of air coming in through the nose and the warmth of the breath as it leaves the body. Allow the movement of the breath to be softened, relaxed. Perhaps your breath naturally lengthens and deepens with your awareness resting on it. But if not, gently encouraging it to become slower, longer, softer. Check your face for tension and your shoulders, releasing it where you find it. And allow your body to relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Boom. Gently begin to deepen your breath, bringing your awareness back to your hands and your feet by moving your fingers, your toes, maybe rolling the wrists and the ankles. When you're ready, taking a long, deep breath in, stretching the body in any way that feels good. That could be stretching the face in a yawn. It could be lengthening one leg, one arm, then the other. Oh, when it feels good, you can gather yourself back to center. Maybe resting the palms together, or the palms one on top of the other on the chest. Take a moment to sit tall and then bow your head gently forward. We're full of the joys of spring today with our movements, regaining that deeper sense of vitality that comes with this energetic season. Around us, there are all of the signs of spring, bumblebees buzzing, daffodils blooming, and the leaves coming out on the trees. I hope that you are feeling full of that sense of vitality, allowing yourself to move with the energy of the season. Give yourself a gentle smile. When you're ready, raising your head and opening your eyes. Thank you so much for joining in this practice today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next week. Namaste.